we're going to celebrate a little bit of St. Patrick's. So we're going to make an authentic apple pie or apple cake that would have been made in Ireland. We're going to put a little bit of oatmeal streusel on top, and we're going to use some nice tart apples. It takes about 50 minutes to make, and it's served with a beautiful cream sauce or whipped cream at the end, and it's just lovely. And I'm going to show you how to make it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our sugar and our butter, and we're going to cream that together. And the butter shouldn't be too cold. You want to leave it at room temperature for a while. A hand mixer works well for this, or a stand mixer. And you're just going to cream it together. This will take a moment, and I'll be right back when this is done. So once the butter and the sugar have been creamed, they're going to have a very light, almost fluffy consistency, and they're going to look like that. So you're just going to scrape down the sides and put it back into the center of the bowl. And once that's done, you're going to whip in the eggs, two eggs in this case. And that's going to start your batter forming. It's important to scrape down the side of the bowl to make sure all the sugar is incorporated. So on a medium speed, you're going to put one egg at a time. And in between each egg, you're going to scrape down the side of the bowl so they get everything incorporated evenly. And this technique is called creaming, when you mix the butter, the sugar, and the eggs together, and then you're going to get a nice creamy consistency. Just a little bit longer. All right. So once that's all incorporated, we're going to prepare the dry ingredients. And for that, we're going to take some flour, a little bit of baking powder, and cinnamon, some salt, and you're going to mix that together. Make sure the baking powder is mixed in with the flour so that it has an even rise on it. And this batter it's kind of like a wet biscuit dough or a thick pancake dough. It's kind of in between that. And it doesn't have a crust. The crust actually forms when it bakes in the oven, and the outside gets a little bit darker. Okay, so once the flour, the cinnamon, the salt, and the baking powder are mixed together, you're going to drop that into your wet mix and slowly mix it together. You don't want to over mix this, just until it's incorporated. And then you're going to scrape everything off of your paddle here. And if you want to make more of a holiday spiced one, if you want to add allspice to it, that's also a nice addition to this. It's very versatile in that sense. So mix it, make sure that everything is incorporated evenly. And you're going to come up with a nice little batter like that. Okay? And at that point, you're going to add a little bit of cream to this mixture also, about 2 tablespoons of cream. And that's going to lighten it up. Okay, and that goes into a well-greased and floured cake pan. It's really important that you use butter or a shortening and then dust it with a little bit of flour. Otherwise, it won't come out of the pan easily. I'm using a springform pan, but you can use a brownie pan. And then you're going to pour the batter into the cake pan. Make sure you get everything out. And just a little bit of water on the edge of your spatula helps you spread out the dough. And you want an even coating on the bottom of the pan. Okay. So you're going to have that so nicely even covered. Then you're going to take some apples, about 3 apples. I use Granny Smith apples. They're a little tart, but any firm baking apple will work very well for this dish. And you basically peel them and just slice them pretty thin, and you just drop them onto the top of the cake here, the batter. Just until you're all the way around. Be generous with this. There we go. And once you have that done, it's going to look like that. We're going to make a quick streusel topping, which is simply a little bit of flour, some rolled oats, some butter, and a little bit of sugar. And we're going to roll that up, mix that up. First, you're going to take the flour and the butter, and you're going to crumble it together until you have what looks like ground almonds. This first, it's like making pie dough. You want to cut the butter into the flour. And this streusel topping can be used for muffins. It's very versatile and is used for a lot of different applications in baking. It adds a nice crunch to the top of a pie or a cake. And the oats will get a nice toasty flavor. So once the butter has been incorporated into the flour, we're going to add our sugar and our oats. And you're going to continue mixing until you have little crumbles. And this mix can be made ahead of time. It can be kept in the fridge for a couple of days without a problem. Okay, so once it starts coming together and you're getting a little bit of compaction there and it starts crumbling together, you want to sprinkle that on top of your cake now. All the way around, nice and even, so that it has an even baking. All the way to the edge, just like that. And that will be the Irish apple cake. And we're going to pop that into an oven about 350 degrees for about 45 to 50 minutes, just until the top gets nice and golden brown. And when you put a toothpick in, it comes out clean without any kind of stodgy bits in the middle. And we'll serve that with a creme anglaise or a cream sauce. And we're going to make ours a little green because we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Once it's done cooking for about 45 to 50 minutes, the top should be golden brown, and the cake itself should have settled around all the apples. So you take it out of the oven, let it sit for about 5 minutes or so, and then take it out of the pan. In the springform pan, you just unmold it like that. And you can see it's nicely golden brown, and you're looking for even browning around all of the streusel, and that's what gives it its nice little nutty flavor. While it's still warm, I would recommend to eat it. And you can serve this with any kind of ice cream, you can serve it with cream or sauce, and we're going to serve it today with a creme anglaise, which is kind of like a vanilla sauce. We tinted one green a little bit to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, so we're just going to plate that up for you so you can see what it looks like. So we're just going to sauce a little bit of the creme anglaise on here, and we're just going to kind of swirl it, make a little hurricane on the plate. So you get a little design going on there. And then just cut it, and you're going to take out a nice portion and serve it right on the plate. And then finish it off with a nice dollop of soft whipped cream and a little bit of powdered sugar. Completes the plate. And there you have very typical or traditional Irish apple cake to celebrate your St. Patrick's Day. Happy baking.